Hey guys, what's going on? So just wanted to update you on what's going on in my aquarium. Since the uh mollies have been going after each other, I went and tried something because I didn't want them to per se kill each other. Um, so technically they are not killing each other realistically, but they are a little beat up. They're like betas, so they're sort of like betas. So the man, well, technically in the aggressive standpoint, um, the dominant one rules the tank, obviously. So a female tried to challenge the dominant male in my aquarium. So I got this female, and I just wanted to get um, a female because one of the females died. Um, and I was trying to decide on, if I should get a female or not. And obviously, I decided to get a female, and that turned out to be a balloon molly with a gorgeous orange golden head kind of thing, right? So I go to the pet store and I get this molly, and uh, the day that I did the live stream, they started fighting with each other. Like, I never saw this in any of my molly species. And they started fighting with each other. And I lost a plant somewhere. I gotta find that actually. But they per se started fighting with each other, and apparently, the light being off did not help per se, because when I did turn the light on, I left the light off for a couple days. I figured, okay, they're not gonna eat, right? Or they're not gonna need to eat for a while because they have plans, say this, say that. So, and the day before I fed them, so I'm like, okay, it's gonna go pretty well ish, right? So I decided, I'm like, okay, let me see if I can pretty much get a so like wait, where was I? I'm like, you know what? Let me feed them today, right? So I went to go feed them, and I leave the Molly is between a wall, and I'm like, okay, great, the Mollies are fighting and whatever, right? So I'm like, okay, they're just fighting. This happened before, right? Well, let's just say the Molly went to the light, and I saw this kind of ick on her. And Mollies can per se get stress ick, which is a form of ick that doesn't per se kill the fish, but it's just like it's hard to explain because I don't know what the heck it is, obviously. And if you use a parasite killer, it's not considered a parasite, so technically it could be fungus. I had no idea, honestly. Um, and I just started reading this. Honestly, I think it's pretty stupid because recently had I had fish like that. How it looked, but it was more like a white fungus kind of thing. So I'm like, okay, then isn't that fungus if it's like that? Like if it looks like that, isn't fungus and not like stress ick? Um, and fungus can come in many forms too. Fungus can be on the edge of the tail. Fungus can start on the middle of the tail. So it could be just a large amount of fungus that you're seeing if it's stress ick. If you're calling it stress ick, um, and I'm trying to figure out like what to do. Right. So my fish might have stress ick, and my other male is chasing it. So I move my sailfin male, separate him. The female was eating, so great, that's great. And then I come back, and half the dots are gone. So I'm like, great. So I'm like, okay, you know what? This fish is scratching itself. It's, showing all signs of egg. I'm going to pretty much go crazy if I don't treat this thing. And if this thing dies, it would be, my fault kind of, because I put in with the male. The male went after her. Like, it wouldn't be my fault. It would be the fish's fault for going after it. And they were both pecking at each other, so that could have led to as well. Obviously, during that fight, the male most likely won. And I was trying to figure out, okay, now what do I do? So I found this. I'm like, I had no egg treatment. I had no fungus treatment. I put in fungus treatment. That thing didn't take care of it. So, I know it's not fungus. So I'm like, okay, how am I going to get egg treatment? So I went to the pet store today and picked up herb tana. It's supposedly supposed to be a good medication. It's supposed to not make the ick per se attach to the fish or detach the ick to where they just die off naturally to where they're not able to feed on the fish. I didn't shake the ball, of course, but I should. But give or take, it was in the bag, so you figure, was shaken technically. Give or take, if you move the bag and stuff like that, thing is moving constantly. So, and I wanted to get the herd tonic in my tank as soon as possible. So as I'm acclimating some snails, which I know can carry ick as well on their shells, I decided, okay, let me treat ick. Let me treat for ick. So when the snails go in there, the ick just dies on the thing. And I could have added another parasite to my aquarium, but honestly, I'd never heard of that. Like an ick attaching to a snail. Obviously, if you have ick, most likely it can attach to anything in your aquarium. Ick is not per se a fish killer, but I mean, I never heard of it attaching to any decoration, so I'm like, you know what? I have other things to worry about. Let me just grab a couple snails and have them clean the tank, just in case the ick. I didn't want to, like, this fish is still eating right now, so he's still good. But I didn't want to, per se, get, I wanted to basically add more oxygen in the tank because I have baby mollies still. And I wanted to clean up the tank a little more just in case it was ick. And a lot of times, the only thing I probably did wrong was I put in the ick and I dosed the snails were pretty much dosed with it as well. So technically, I only took out half of whatever, which is going to go back in the tank tomorrow anyways. And then I'm going to do a large water change on Sunday. So, I mean, technically that's not a bad thing to per se do with your aquarium, but I've mistreated, I think, with certain medications, mostly undertreated. So, it would be essentially, I just figured, like, why not kill two birds in one stone? if it is the extra stuff on the bottom, these snails will take care of it. The downside, and you guys can chat in the comments too if you want. The downside to buying snails as well is the fact that they can carry ick on them. But I never had an issue with that. I never gotten a snail and then had an outbreak with ick. So honestly, my pet store treats with herb tana. Most of their fish are okay. Now I did see some really cool other fish, but I didn't want to get a fish and then it spreads because the fish is stressed. So I'm like, let me just get snails. And I didn't want to go back and get into that thing as well where I ended up like adding like aggressive fishing tanks. So I wanted to not do multiple things at once with my aquarium. I just wanted to um, kill as much as I could with that. If it is uh, the food in the aquarium, I added snails because of that. But B, if it's the just the aggression, I'm adding herb tana in for that as well. So that should take care of all the parasite issues that I have in this tank right now. And it does happen a lot. It wasn't the fish at all. It was most likely what we call aggression and stress. So the dominant fish basically was fighting with a female for dominance, and that fish essentially, I believe, won. There is some patches of stuff on his tail, but I'm not sure what that is. Well, we find out as we go. Oh, I forgot I had another knee right in here. Duh. But here's one of my new-ish snails. There's a rabbit snail behind the Malaysian trumpet snail. There's a apple snail, a blue apple snail, I think. And I have one of these guys in here too. This is one of my other new ones I had. So I just want a lot of snails in here because they do feed this tank a lot. So they are conditioned for breeding the fish. So, it's easier to feed snails than it is. And I never had I've had apple snails get decently sized to where they lay eggs, but I never had them actually get huge. So I'd love to see if the apple snails can get huge in this tank with the calcium output from the rocks and the shells that I have in here. Hopefully its shell doesn't degrade, but we'll see. Anyways, guys, the update for my fish tank. Thank you guys for watching. I gotta go get some more because I am thirsty. And I'll keep you guys updated with what goes on. Apparently, one thing what would happen from reading up on herb tana, the ick should die off within 2 weeks. So, in about 2 weeks, we should have no ick in here, hopefully. And hopefully this fish survives because there's apparently ick in the water, which stays in its free floating stage, I believe, for 24 hours. Then it attaches to the fish. So we'll see what happens in the next 24 hours, guys. Thank you for watching this live, and I will see you in the next live.